Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? My name is Tay, and welcome back to my channel Inspire Me, where I talk about current or relatable topics, all from a godly perspective. And today's topic is called Turn Down the Noise. I was actually thinking about this the other day. God gave me this download. I thought about the scenario some years now, and I think about it every so often. I was actually thinking about it that day. You know, when you driving somewhere and you probably got the music turned up, and then you try to look for an area, a place that you probably never been before. You try to look for the address. For some reason, I don't know if it's all ethnicities, but I know my community, we turn the radio down to look for an address, and it's like, what does the music being turned up, what do they got to do with you seeing the address to somewhere? Have you ever noticed that? And I always thought about that. And it's actually in my first book, Let Him Use You. I use that scenario about my testimony. I have a lot of, testimonies in there, but about one of my testimonies in there. So if you did not get that book, like, come on now. Stop playing with yourself now. So I have copies. So yeah, get at me. And I was thinking about that scenario again. I'm like, why do we turn the music down when we looking for an address? And God gave me a revelation that day. What God told me is the reason why we turn the music down to look for an address is like we gotta turn down the noise. We gotta turn down the chatter. We gotta block out the negativity, the nonsense. All right, first I'm gonna talk about vision. When I looked it up, it says the word vision is more often used as an encounter with God, where He imparts special revelation in dreams or in dark sayings. It says sometimes He speaks directly to you. Now with me, He don't speak. If I heard a voice out there like just saying Shantae, and I don't see nobody, and it's like, you feel me? But he do talk to some people like that. But with me, he talked with me with signs and different things like that. And I'm pretty sure with a lot of other people, he talked to different ways. But that is what vision is spiritually. However, vision physically, naturally, it's with your eyes. So what God was saying, to have an encounter with God, to pretty much know His voice, to pretty much know what He's saying and the downloads He's trying to give to you, you got to have vision. That's your vision. But in order to have that vision, you got to turn down the noise. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. The go to scripture would be Matthew's the ninth chapter, verse 23 through 26. It says, when Jesus came into the ruler's house and saw the flute players and the noisy crowd wailing, he said to them, make room, for the girl is not dead but sleeping. And they ridiculed him. But when the crowd was put outside, he went in and took her by the hand, and the girl arose. And the report of this went out into all that land. This is where the girl, if we look from a natural stand, the girl was dead. But God advised him, she's not dead, she's only asleep. The reason why he said it because he knew he was going to do a miracle. So when he advised the people of that, you know what they did? They ridiculed him. They made fun of him. They made a mockery of him and saying like, you don't know what he's talking about. Like, she ain't sleeping. What you talking about? You know what Jesus did? He put them outside on the other side of the door. He shut the door. He closed them out. He blocked them out. He blocked out that negativity. He blocking out that foolery. He blocked out that nonsense. And that's what you got to do. And when he did that, you see the girl arose. Now, who's to say that girl, she probably would not have arose if they would have stayed in the room because all that negativity. Not saying that Jesus is not powerful enough to still do a miracle in the midst of, but sometimes you gotta have negative people. Sometimes you gotta remove negativity from around you in order for you to have a vision, in order for you to hear clearly what God is trying to say, in order for you to receive your miracle or for you to do a miracle. You got to remove that negativity. You got to remove that noise. You got to turn down the radio. Because usually if you look at a radio, even though I know what a radio do and play, but I just typed in, what does a radio play? And this is what it says. It says radio plays are dramatized, purely auditory performances that are specifically designed to focus on painting a picture in the listener's mind I. It says dramatize. Dramatize is the word for drama. God wants you to avoid all drama. You know what drama is: toxicity, ratchetness, things that God opposes. Also, it says even though it's an auditory, auditory is from the ear. Listen, the focus is to paint a picture in the listener's mind. It says I. Now your mind is up here. You don't have eyes in your mind, but can't you still, like, if you think about something, can't you still visualize it? Even though you didn't literally take your face off and say, okay, I'll take my eyes out. Let me just place my eyes in my head. You still can see. So it shows you right here that vision does have something to do with your auditory, or vision does have something to do with the audio. Like I said, when a person looking for an address, 9 times out of 10, they probably listen to secular music or rap music, or with the radio. Sometimes it could be news or something, but 9 times out of 10, if it's news, you know they just play on the news. And let's say that it's actually gospel music, but it's turned up. Sometimes you still got to turn down that music in order for you to be able to think clearly. If you read it in the scripture, if you go way back to verse 19, I didn't read that, but I'll read it now. Jesus was on his way because they already informed him about the girl. So in the process, it says, Jesus arose and followed him, and so did his disciples. And that's when pretty much the lady with the issue of blood, that's when she came, she touched him, and she was made whole. So then it proceeds. Then when Jesus came to Jairus' house, that's when he heard the flute players and different things like that. Pretty much you can correlate that to a funeral. Don't usually, when a person have a funeral, they have music playing and different things like sad orchestra going on. Verse 25, but when the crowd was put outside, he went in and took her hand. It don't say he and his disciples went in. Now Mark's version actually say the opposite. It says it was him, Peter, James, and John, the brother of James. Now what God told me, the reason why he let those people in only because they had the same belief and faith as him. Not to say that the other disciples didn't have faith like that, but they didn't have faith as greater as them. So pretty much, if you're riding in the car and say for instance 3 people, and then you turn down the music, and then what if one person say no, keep that music turned up, and then it's lacking your concentration, you can't find what you're trying to look for. But say for instance, if everybody agree in the car, okay, we're gonna turn this music down and let you look for this address, okay, now the person can pretty much concentrate and focus on what the address they're trying to look. So what it's pretty much telling me is you all have to coincide, you all have to agree. The reason why those 3 disciples came in because they all agreed to the level that Jesus Christ believed in. And sometimes you gotta get away from all the noise, everyone. I'm saying, for instance, even if it's a gospel song, a song that's like uplifting and worshiping God, if it's turned up, sometimes you got to turn it down if you try to hear God's voice clearly, if you're trying to look for an address, if you want that vision, if you want that revelation for God to speak to you clearly. Say for instance, you God trying to give you a download, but 24/7 you always just listening to worship music and just 24/7. That don't sound wrong at all. It's like you uplifting your spirit with worship music. That is great. But 24/7, it's like you never have time to hear God at all because you got this worship music in your ear 24/7. Not saying that God can't talk to you, give downloads to you, listen to that, but come on now. Difference if you have kids or a spouse, and instead of you like tending to them and spending time with them, doing different things with them, you never have time for your spouse, you never have time for your kids. You never have time for other people to do ministry. Like I said, it don't seem like nothing's wrong with that, but sometimes in order for you to have that vision, you gotta turn down the noise. And with the driving the car, for you to look for an address, you gotta turn down the music. And when a person turn on the music, because I did that before a couple of times when I used to drive. And usually when you turn on the music, you don't just turn it down to where you can hear the music just a teensy bit. You usually turn that music all the way down. For some reason, I don't know why. Let me know if you just turn it down a little bit, but usually turn the music all the way down. The exact same way in your spiritual walk, in order for you to have impartation in order for God to download to you. You gotta turn down that chatter. You gotta turn down that nonsense. You gotta turn down that negativity. People that's against God, people that don't believe in the vision that you have and that God downloaded to you and imparted into you. You gotta turn that down by blocking them out your circle like God did. He went inside the room and he left outside. So you gotta block those people out your life or whatever the case might be. Turn down the noise, y'all. Turn down the chatter. Turn down the negativity. So that's pretty much all the download God gave to me. Make sure y'all like, make sure you share, and also make sure you subscribe to my channel, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day.